844-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports hourly employees will soon earn more at Costco, the latest company to raise its minimum hourly wage in an effort to hire and retain quality workers in a tight U.S. job market. Costco said Thursday that 130,000 employees will get a boost in pay to $14 or $14.50 per hour. Others will see raises between 25 and 50 cents per hour when the new rates take effect on June 11th. Costco said the pay hike is owed to last year's federal tax overhaul, which lowered the corporate tax rate. Costco said it will use the savings to invest in its workforce. Data released Friday showed U.S. unemployment at its lowest point in nearly half a century, something that forces large companies like Costco to compete for talent in industries with high turnover. Costco's move is the latest in a years-long national campaign by workers and advocates to hike the hourly minimum wage. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system and to fully capitalize on that decision in their fundraising efforts. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. Reuters reports the Texas Supreme Court affirmed on Friday that the state must reveal the source of the drugs it uses for executions. The court rejected the state's argument that doing so could lead to physical harm of the supplier and impede lethal injections. Ever since the sales ban of lethal injection drugs by major pharmaceutical companies a few years ago, most states have kept the suppliers of their drugs secret. This has prompted lawsuits on behalf of death row inmates arguing that prisoners could be subjected to unconstitutional suffering from faulty drugs and lethal injection mixes from questionable suppliers. The Texas Supreme Court on Friday affirmed a May 2017 decision by an appellate court that said there was not enough compelling evidence provided by the state to show that there was a substantial threat of physical harm. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice said in a statement that it intends to file a motion with the court for a rehearing. According to the Death Penalty Information Center, the state of Texas has executed 551 people since capital punishment was reinstated in 1976, 37% of all U.S. executions, and more than triple any other state. Texas has also been one of the few states in the country able to procure a steady supply of execution drugs. In 2016, pharmaceutical company Pfizer joined a sales ban imposed years earlier by major European drug makers that did not want their products used in executions due to ethical concerns. This caused many states to scramble for suppliers and a few to suspend executions due to the lack of drugs. Although 31 states have the death penalty, only 8 have held executions since Pfizer's decision, which cut off the last major U.S. source for drugs in the lethal injection mixture. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following the news this week that recording artist and industry magnate Bob Dylan would be laying off 2,000 workers from his Muscatine, Iowa songwriting factory in an effort to streamline his music-making operations, The Onion spoke with veteran factory worker Travis Felton, who received a pink slip earlier today.
I've been working on the lyric assembly line for 25 years now. Punch in each and every morning, make sure the words are complex and poetic. And yesterday, the foreman calls me into his office to tell me that the company is reducing headcount. They're giving the whole rhyming section the boot. What Mr. Dillon and the other suits don't understand is that here in Muscatine, songwriting is all we have. And we've been doing the best damn Dylan songs in the world for over 50 years, and now they're trying to take that away from us. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Well, I guess I could see if they're hiring over at the Tom Petty factory in Hurstville. Lord knows I hoped it'd never come to that.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on this live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live with Mark.
It's Jonny Ray
and Chris.
That's right. Call in, take control of the airwaves. We'll talk to you about anything. But Jonny Ray, you apparently had been reading some numbers, economic indicator numbers that were bothering you, and you had some questions, and you felt like I was a good person to ask, and amongst your friends, I'd say that that's probably true. I'll do my very best to answer these questions.
Yeah, the way I put it was that as a Trump hater, and I'm
no Trump hater, but go ahead.
I'm not much of a hater in any part of my life, so that's a bit of an exageration. But
you're no fan.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say I'm a fan either.
I'm quaking in my boots every time I hear these stories about how the unemployment figures are so low.
Okay. Well, we're told that employment is a trailing indicator. So it suggests high employment at this point, and that's what we're told. Indicates that the economy's been doing well for some time. Usually, when the economy's doing well, it can't go any farther up.
You mean high employment? Low unemployment.
Yeah, the velocity of money is really what I mean. But we're not talking about M1 and that sort of thing right now. So yeah, I mean, employment numbers are the things that people care about. Essentially, at this point, just about everybody who's looking for a job can find one. If you can't find a job at this point, you're not trying very hard.
Mm-hmm.
So that much is true. I would also point out that my favorite number that doesn't get reported is the labor participation rate.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, you can't talk about unemployment on Free Talk Live without the labor participation rate being mentioned. And this number is very interesting because it usually what is it? It's a little above 60 right now.
I think it's around 64.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
I'm going to look that up.
Which that means that 64% of adults, that's people between the ages of 16 and 64. I don't know what you become at 65. A senior? So not an adult anymore. You're a senior at 65. And below 16, you're a child. That's 64%. Now, that's been going down over time, is my understanding of that number. It just kind of creeps downward from a high in like the 80s.
According to tradingeconomics.com, it's 62.7.
62.7. All right, so getting close to 63%. And that number's been kind of going down over time. One of the reasons that number's been going down, in my opinion, is because young people are getting into the workforce later and later and later. When when I turned 16 years old, I'd been working for 4 years already. Now, I mean, I wasn't laying block or anything like that. I was working at a magazine store, but I was already getting paid on the books, being taxed at 14 or 15, somewhere in there, somewhere between 14 and 15. I went from just getting paid in straight comic books to getting paid in U.S. dollars that I could do things with. When I turned 15 years old, I had enough money to buy a motor scooter. So that was $500 in 1985, 4, 6, something like that. And kids today, parents are giving them that money. I earned that money. And so I don't look forward to the future as the population ages here in the United States and you have less and less experienced workers to take care of them.
Yeah. The other thing I would say, and this plays into where our numbers are currently at. So I'm looking at a larger scale. I'm doing their max scale, which goes back to 1950. And you see
what scale is that?
I'm coming from the trading economics, the U.S. labor participation rate, and beginning in 1950 to present.
Yeah, the max chart looks like a bell curve.
It does.
With a higher ending than beginning.
Right. And what you will see at the end is a pretty sharp drop-off in 2007, 2008, when we had the beginning of the Great Recession. And that has, it looks like at the closest end to where we are now, it's sort of wavering up and down in that 62, 63%. But it's down from, its highs. And that, to me, was a direct result of that devastation that the Federal Reserve wrought on America. And then that's when we started to hear about people that were going on to unemployment for the first time. And then, 6 months, a year later, or however long they extended unemployment for, then you start hearing the stories about, well, people aren't reentering the workforce they're just staying off on unemployment.
They figured out whatever it took to do whatever it was that was keeping them alive on unemployment. And apparently that's not so bad because they haven't all come back.
Yeah, and I don't think as long as you have a nanny state that's willing to take care of a lot of people, that number is not likely to rebound.
I don't see why people would want to work if they don't have to.
Right.
Also, some of these people are working under the table, right? They're productive, which is good for the economy, but they're not reporting that they're employed.
Right. And they're probably double dipping that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can get paid by the government for doing nothing and getting paid by an employer for
some
doing
are,
something.
but not all of those people are. Some of those people are just off the books. So if 62.7% of people are working, between the adults are working, then that means that something close to 30%, is it more than 30%? Something close to, whatever the number is, well, it's not working. So you're over there getting on to 40% of people are just not working.
Yeah.
Not all of those people are taking subsidies or anything like that. They're just doing whatever the heck they're doing.
Right.
Some are drug addicts. Some people are working under the table jobs. Some people are staying at mom and dad's and kind of loafing.
I gotta think the end of the table job thing's probably pretty constant throughout. You know what I mean? Like as we look at this period of time, I don't know if it's more now. I think
you can make good money working for yourself, and especially if you don't have to pay tax on it, then you're doing okay. I'd also like to point out, I think that the ladies have figured out that working and then paying for childcare isn't always the most expeditious way to raise a family, and some of them have just gone ahead and said, this is what I want to do. I want to take care. That's what happened with my wife. She left the workforce in somewhere around 2008, not because she lost her job, but because we moved up here in 2006, and she wanted to, have a child. And so I guess it was like 2007 because Jack was born in 2008. No, it was 2008 because she worked up until a few days, a week before he was born or something. And so, she hasn't really had a real reportable job since then.
Right.
And although she's helped with Free Talk Live, handling our books and that kind of thing, it's not a real job, and it's not reported. And so I imagine there's some ladies that have done that same thing, and probably a couple of dudes that are around there also. Yep. So I guess my answer to this is, Jonny Ray, is Donald Trump is enjoying an economy that rebounded, whether it was from Obama's economic policies or whatever. I mean, I think that he deserves a certain amount of credit, but there was going to be a rebound, and the less you mess with the economy, the more likely you are to get the rebound, and that there's only one place for this economy to go at this point. It's at a peak, and it can only go down.
Yes.
I'm not a bear. I am not a bear. I'm going to repeat this one more time. I don't even like the Bears. The Bears annoy me, and every time I try to invest based on the Bears' opinions, I lose money. I hate bears. I would go bear hunting. Don't call in here with your bear crap. But I cannot believe that the economy is going to continue to go up quarter after quarter while Donald Trump's in office.
It's still artificial. That's the whole thing. So... And I'm a little jaded because of what I've been reading lately, but
bunch of bears.
Well, not necessarily bears, but people that recognize market manipulation when they see it. And I think our market, and particularly our Fed, has been manipulating us through the Greenspan put, through the Bernanke put, and now we're in the Yellen put, where money is cheap, free, and hey, go ahead and gamble on Wall Street and you'll make big bucks.
Your thoughts, 855-450-3733. What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open your Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. blinkprotect.com/FTL to save 15%. Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Free Talk Live.
They gently kind of hang on to it or manipulate it with their mouths. The pufferfish then releases toxins that seem to intoxicate the dolphins.
He's getting high.
Apparently, there's legislation in India to consider dolphins to be non-human persons. Would dolphins be subject to arrest for getting intoxicated?
How else could they deal with this threat to the dolphins?
Obviously, there's disorderly conduct and public intoxication.
I bet they'll resist arrest, too.
Yeah, because dolphins don't really have hands. They're going to fight you, and a dolphin will rape you.
Think of the money for the prison industrial complex here. I mean, they'll have to build whole new underwater prisons for the dolphins. This could be big.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You are free to call in and talk live about whatever it is that's on your mind this Sunday evening. But we are here talking about economic numbers. This week, Donald Trump was happy to tweet that he believed some really good numbers were due. He thought that people would be very happy. And there's some kerfuffle about that tweet, and maybe he broke some law or another, and I don't know. I don't care. I just don't care.
I think you could take that same sentence and repeat it any week during Trump's presidency so far, and that would be accurate.
Right.
Some kerfuffle. Might have been illegal. What else did you say in there? I think that was it.
And I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the journalists out there, they're hunting big game. They want to be the one who brought down Donald Trump, and they're angry that he's called them a bunch of snakes, which pretty much they are. Not to say that he's not. He's a snake calling snakes, as far as I'm concerned. But. So I just don't care that much when they're like, "Oh, we got them this time. Can't wait till we get them this time," and I just don't care. But nonetheless, he's excited about these numbers, and they're going up. So I want to talk about that here in just one moment. There's some other exciting numbers. You can save up to 25% on your purchases at Amazon. Who doesn't want to save 25% on purchases at Amazon? Amazon's got basically everything you need except for produce and like crack. That's about it. Those are about the only things that you can't get at Amazon. And if you save 25%, you could basically give yourself a raise, a huge raise. And that'd be great. The only catch, you got to use Bitcoin Core, or Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin to buy things at Amazon. You just go through saveatpurse.com. That's saveatpurse.com and get signed up and stock your account with Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin Cash, whatever you want to use, and start saving. Saveatpurse.com. It's very self-explanatory. They've got videos. They will make it easy on you.
Mark, I made a great decision the other night. It was to not listen to John Batchelor, but instead listen to Tom Woods interviewing a man whose name I've forgotten, hosts the Dangerous History podcast, talking about the USS Maine and the Spanish-American War. It was great.
Oh, that does sound interesting. Did they have a conspiracy theory that surrounded it? Because usually that's what people talk about. Remember the Maine. And to some extent, it defines the modern military machines PR system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, did you listen to the podcast?
No, I'm a genius. Tell you people. God.
Oh, my.
Yeah, the guy who was the head of the Office of Naval Intelligence, which is America's oldest intelligence agency.
All right.
The guy who was the head of it during Theodore Roosevelt's tenure as the Assistant Secretary of Defense had, months before the USS Maine explosion, been transferred to the USS Maine and was, I guess, the executive officer. He said he was the second in command of that ship. And the guy who was the captain of it, when it blew up, he later went on to become the head of the ONI. Office
Suspicious.
of Naval Intelligence.
Bunch of spooks running around that ship, and then it blows up, huh?
Yep. Furthermore, on the Tom Woods tip, I just listened to a great interview. Not an interview. He was discussing an article that a lady had written, a left progressive, about Donald Trump and Russiagate and so forth. It reminded me of the great Will Griggs' 2 kinds of Trump derangement syndrome, basically debunking the idea that he was partnering up with the Russians, and that is evidenced by all of his foreign policy towards them since he was elected. It's all unfriendly towards them.
I mean, if he was colluding with the Russians, he certainly doesn't appear to be colluding with them now.
But it also debunked the idea that he was a warrior against the Free State, and that if he's his own man at all, he's doing, just exactly what the military intelligence complex is telling him to do.
Seems likely. So we were talking about the unemployment numbers that the Trump administration released recently that Trump was very happy about, and the labor participation rate. And I think that these are 2 numbers that people really don't understand the relationship between these 2 things.
I'm getting confused about them because
you think they were the same thing, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
There's the unemployment rate. That sounds like the amount of people that are unemployed. And the labor participation rate. That sounds like the amount of people that are participating in labor. These numbers should be the juxtaposed or the opposite of each other.
They should be related.
But the labor participation rate is like 62.7%, and unemployment's like, what, 3 or 4 or 5? I don't know what it is. It's low. And
the unemployment rate has been dropping at the same time that the labor participation rate has been dropping, and that
doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
It sounds like there's about 20-something% of people who are just left out of these numbers. Maybe 30-something, maybe.
So is the unemployment rate just useless? Is it too managed to be useful?
As we go on, yes, that's true.
I think that these numbers are very misleading. Things also like GDP and inflation rates and things like that. Keep in mind the common theme here is these are all generated by the government. And they all say a very specific thing. The Consumer Price Index, which doesn't count doesn't count the price of food.
Right. So if you read this Consumer Price Index, you'll think that interest rates that inflation's something like 1 to maybe 3% ongoing. This is over the last couple of decades. But that doesn't count food, houses,
energy,
gasoline.
Right.
Now, tell me what the average family spends their money on, and then remove food, housing, and gasoline from that particular number. And I ask you, what use is the number of plastic crap I buy at Walmart inflation rate?
Right, where we have very much mercantile China who loves to feed us cheap baubles, and they'll do that all day long. They'll keep their price low because they've got a low-cost workforce. So it's insane. It's basically giving you the ongoing price of Skittles. I mean, for lack of a better argument. I mean, that's as much as that means. So here's an interesting one, and I've been Googling around while
it's the ongoing price of like plastic spatulas. Yeah.
Thank you. Here's another one. It's the Hornstein-Kudliak-Lang non-employment index.
I'll tell you what, I didn't think there was a number I hadn't heard of. Go ahead.
Well, it's kind of good because these are a couple guys that are researchers for
the Richmond Fed, right?
The Richmond Fed. Very good.
Right.
Off the top of your head, you knew that. You recognized the names.
The Liberty janitor is no fool.
So he comes up with a number, and it's basically, depending on how you calculate it right now, non-employment index is really running about 8.8%. So we're close to 1 out of every 10 people who could participate in the labor force do not participate in the labor force.
They probably could. The question is, why don't they? And admittedly, I'm jaded on this. I remember losing my job in radio and saying, well, should I go to unemployment? I went to the unemployment office, and they told me that I had to call the unemployment. I went to the unemployment office, and they gave me a telephone number, and I just never called it.
Right.
Because personally, I don't want to go through the work that it takes to deal with the government to get a check from them. I'm just not that kind of person. So that shows the kind of how jaded I would be surrounding this. I just went out and got a job driving cab.
Right.
Until I got another job in radio. And, if you haven't been fired in radio, you haven't worked in radio. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. Jonny Ray, you're fired.
Get the ultimate knife at an ultimate price. The Fox Karambit knife. Finally available in the U.S. The Fox Karambit knife opens with one hand, faster than you can pull a handgun. For utility, for defense, and for way less than other knives of this caliber. Go to theultimateknife.com. Truly the best knife you will ever own, and only available at theultimateknife.com. Use promo code radio at checkout for free shipping. Get the ultimate knife at the ultimate price at theultimateknife.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Really creative.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Talking about the U.S. economic numbers right now. I realize that these numbers may not be riveting to everybody, but they really do affect our lives. And the ability to sort of use them to look into the future, that can make you, well, it can make you money. It can prepare you for what's to come. Those are important things. It's Mark with you.
Jonny Ray.
And Chris.
I think I've understood it. I think I might have had a breakthrough regarding the meaning of the labor participation rate and how it relates to unemployment figures, in that the labor participation rate is more of a whole population.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Overall thing, and that kind of gets, as that changes, it gets factored out of the employment numbers because they don't count people, as we're reminded, they don't count people who aren't looking for a job.
Right, and the idea is that they refine that number of people who aren't looking for a job all the time.
Uh-huh.
So you never know what they mean when they say somebody who's not looking for a job.
Did I mention earlier how Donald Trump's regime has enjoyed a trend that has started in 2010?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I can continue to legitimately disdain Donald Trump and not count him as a helper of the economic situation, because if you look, he's at the bottom end of a hill that started going downhill 10 years ago.
I wouldn't go that far.
Not 10 years ago,
I think that business
8 years ago.
Generally right now is more likely to spend, more likely to invest because Donald Trump's in office. I think they're happier about it. Wall Street seems happy.
Well, they are, and Wall Street continues to get what they've got used to, and that is, lots of cheap money flowing whenever they want it from the Fed. And
I heard the hog farmers aren't too happy right now.
They may not be, but
what's the reason for the hog farmers? I don't understand.
Because Mexico or Canada, I think it was Mexico, among some of the retaliatory actions they would be taking would be placing tariffs on pork bellies.
Oh,
it's always the pork bellies.
I don't doubt it. Yeah, but when you have a Fed that doesn't care about Main Street, there's no interest in the Federal Reserve doing what is best for Main Street. They absolutely, their view of what economic growth is how well your stock indexes are doing. And that was Greenspan, that was Bernanke, that was Yellen, and whoever's coming in now. They all seem to have the exact same goal. So lots of cheap free money, and I'll talk about some other statistics Mark, you got something to say, it looks like.
Yeah, I want to talk about Blink Home Security System. I've got this at my house, and we're just getting it back up and rolling. We've moved house. So, it's really easy to hook this thing up. It takes about 10 minutes once you decide to do it and where you're going to put the cameras. You can get 3 cameras with the deal we're going to offer you. I have 3 cameras at my house. I'm probably going to buy a few more just to make sure that I've got enough to cover all the spaces that I want to cover. You can do indoor, outdoor, whatever it might be. They give you an alert when something moves in front of them. You can set the times. You can have it on 24 hours a day. So if you have a room that nobody should be in and you want to know if somebody's in there, well, you'll get an alert with Blink. Or you could just check in on these cameras and see what's going on. I did that while I was on vacation. Just wanted to see what was going on. Yep. No problem. There's the cat. I can see the cat. And they make it easy for you. Just go to blinkprotect.com and use /FTL. Now, blinkprotect.com will give you 3 great cameras for way less than the other guys charge. But blinkprotect.com/FTL will give you 15% off. It's blinkprotect.com/FTL.
To continue my point, again, I've been reading a book for the second time, and I haven't got to the part where I thoroughly disagree with him, but it's by David Stockman, who was the director of OMB under Reagan. And then he went to jail and played around on Wall Street and did some other stuff. But the book is The Great Deformation, and I think it's the rise of cronyism or the destruction of capitalism by cronyism in America, or something to that effect. If you remember The Great Deformation, you'll find the book. But he talks about a couple things in looking at the numbers, and one of the ones that I really struck me was he looked at 2 groups of retailers following the 2008 crash, and he looked at them in 2015. The first group were what he called the top mid-range retailers. So I can't remember all 7, but think Walmart, Target, Kohl's, Sears.
These are mid-range retailers?
Yes, mid-range in the sense that these are the places that middle America would typically go.
Okay.
All of them down in sales. 2015, they have never recovered from the 2008 crash. Their sales are still below there. If you look at another group of retailers,
I don't know that I want people up as high as they were. I know in 2005, Americans spent more money than they made.
Mm-hmm.
That's a horrifying statistic.
Well, I'm going to throw a couple more out here. Here's another group of retailers. Tiffany, Coach. What's another high-end brand? But he named off 5
Dolce & Gabbana. You know what? I don't know anything. You should never ask me about brands.
5 or 6 of those. What is the percentage since 2008? All of them as a group up somewhere around 30% in sales.
Oh, they're doing well.
They're doing extremely well. The other statistic that he threw out was there were a couple names for this.
Lear is what I would want to know. You know, the yacht manufacturers.
Right.
A lot of people work to produce those things. A lot of working class people make Lear jets, yachts, and cruise ships and these kind of things.
I'm going to throw 2 other things out, and that is the total amount of money spent in grocery stores. Actually, they did a comparison. It was traditional grocery stores, and they didn't just say Walmart, but Walmart, Albertsons, Safeway, all those, versus sales in Whole Foods. All the grocery stores, people are spending 8 to 10% less adjusted for inflation on actual groceries, on actual food, while the people that are buying food at Whole Foods are spending, again, 10 to 20% more than they were before. So what his implication is here is this. What these manipulations of the market have done with cheap money going to Wall Street and enabling the rise. What's the Dow at? 26,000?
I don't know. It's insane.
It is insane.
It's really, really high.
It's called a bubble. But when these things come along and when they're goosed by the Fed, then the wealthiest people do well. Those are the ones that are going to make the most money while this is going on. The second line down that will do really well will be those people with 401ks and things like that. And then you have really the rest of America.
And I don't know how many people actually have a 401k, but I can tell you that the number was 40% of Americans couldn't put their hands on $400.
Correct.
And I can't believe that number. I'm stunned by that number.
Right. It's very scary.
I mean, I've lived that way, but it was a brief period of time.
Yeah.
And I got my nest egg back up as quickly as I could.
Yeah.
There was, I had a bankruptcy, and no doubt that, the bankruptcy court doesn't like you ferreting a lot of money away. I can assure you of that. Not that I had it to ferret. So, and I've heard that 60% can't get 1,000. I don't know about that number. I'd have to look that up again. But these numbers, they just seem so high to me.
And that's really the point, is while we're being told that things are good and good news is occurring and the unemployment rate is down, when we dig a little bit further, we do want to look at things like labor participation rate and alternate measures of how these things go and how many people have just dropped out of the workforce. The number out of all those numbers I just threw out there, the one that concerns me the most is that adjusted numbers for people spending money on food is down. And that simply means that people are eating less. Now, for obese,
they don't look like they're eating less.
For obese America, that's not a bad thing.
You
know what I mean?
When I have a really important question surrounding the Dow number, and I want to get a prediction from you on that people here could use in the future to make some money and possibly make their lives significantly easier. We'll see. The number is 855-450-3733. If you got any thoughts on these labor numbers, 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Aging is one thing that affects everyone. George has talked about the power of stem cells for years. Now, there's a new serum that harnesses that stem cell power to bring back your youthful look. Beverly Hills doctor Nathan Newman.
Stem cells are basically our fountain of youth. This is what maintains our body's reparative, regenerative abilities. As we age, every cell breaks down and needs to be replaced, and what replaces it is the stem cell.
Dr. Newman and Janess have developed Lumin-S. Lumin-S takes the science of stem cells, using the same growth factor complex that literally heals our cells, slowing the appearance of the aging process. Apply Lumin-S twice daily, and on average, see results in a week. Learn more, watch our video, and order today at a special Coast website, healthylooking.com. Plus, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's healthylooking.com. Lumin-S, for a healthier, much younger, better-looking you. Buy now at healthylooking.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in and talk about what you want, but we're talking about the numbers that seem to rule us, as it were, the economic numbers, the employment numbers, inflation numbers, these sorts of things. And Chris, you had said that the Dow had reached all-time highs recently, and that it was at ridiculous rates, and it really is at really, really high rates. And I want to ask you some questions about that.
Sure.
Just one second. But I want to let everybody know that Free Talk Live makes shows available for free, going back for more than a decade. Most radio programs, they charge you for that stuff. Free Talk Live, we don't do it. We'd love you to participate in the AMP program, and I'll tell you how to do that as time goes by. But please, go get some archives. Just, if you've got a commute, if you work out in the garden, whatever it might be, just get some archives at archives.freetalklive.com. We make it really easy for you to go back as far as you want. You can try out the early episodes. You can try out the later ones. It's whatever's good for you. Archives.freetalklive.com. So if this Dow number is up at all-time highs or near all-time highs, one might guess that it could it can only go two directions, right? It can go up or it can go down.
Correct.
If it goes down, then you're in another, up cyclical bull bear run situation, right? It happens all the time.
Right.
And I do believe in cycles when it comes to Wall Street because, they turn on the nitro, they run it up, they run it up too high, they run it up, plop, 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 plop.
Yeah.
And it just goes back down, and then they do it all over again. Then we're going to try this again in 3, 4, 5 years.
Right.
Whatever it might be. So where would you, if you knew that the stock market was at its all-time high, where would you put your money that day?
Yeah. Me, I'd go right into cryptos and metals.
Yeah, crypto and metal.
Yeah, that would be it. I mean, if you're giving me like 5 seconds to answer that question, and we're on a live radio show, so that's in effect what Mark just did to me.
Yeah,
that's what
exactly
I would say.
What I would do. Yeah. Well, I think that's the right answer because that's the answer I would give.
Right.
Is if I was in the stock market, I believe that we were at an all-time high on the Dow or whatever it might be, and obviously you can have stocks that aren't part of the Dow and have different numbers than are going on in the stock market. But the Dow is a way to look at the stocks, or S&P, whatever it might be.
Yeah, well, and they're indicative of what people believe a company is worth, and so when you're let's say you're pricing a $10 billion company, okay? And the formula that I'm using is saying, okay, I'm going to say that, this company is what its earnings are going to be in 10 years. And when you're then putting a price out there that is 100 times what its current value is on the market, or its current sales, that's a better way of putting it, you're saying that the $10 billion company is going to be up to $100 billion, $1 trillion in sales. That makes no sense, right? It just doesn't make sense. But when we get into these bubbles, because money is cheap right now, because the interest rates on borrowing money are dirt cheap.
The money's out there.
Right.
It's got to go somewhere.
Right. And that just means that people are going to bid this stuff up until it pops. And don't think I'm the Wizard of Wall Street here, but I'm just going to say you've got the bubble in 1987 when during Reagan we had a big blow up there. We had the 2008
was
crash.
Was that the SNL bubble?
No, that was after the SNL. That was
Black Tuesday?
Yeah, Black Tuesday. Thank you. We had 1998, we had one. Then at 2001, we had the .com crash. And in every one of these, the Fed, keeps pumping it. They're pumping the money in. They're pumping it. They're making money so dirt cheap to buy. And then we get into 2007, 2008. And then, they did the same thing again, except when it crashed. Then they were able to convince everyone that the American taxpayer had to make sure that no bonuses went unpaid at any banks. So a lot of Americans' money flowed into propping those up and propping up an auto industry that actually just should have died at that point.
As well, some money went to McDonald's and Caterpillar to, I think, help make payroll at some place.
There were some of the big auto manufacturers got money too. Period.
Well, Stockman makes a real good case that General Motors in particular should have just died, that it would have been far more valuable, and every stockholder, everyone who owned bonds in those would have easily been taken care of had they gone through a Chapter 11 and had their assets be auctioned off, because they are an asset-rich company. And the only reason, basically what you're buying with General Motors is the health care and retirement benefits for something like 400,000 workers.
That's the reason for the bailout.
Yeah, that's
ultimately
the reason for the bailout.
And one thing I always remember when I'm looking at trucks, Ford didn't take it.
Mm-hmm.
Ford didn't take that bailout.
Yeah.
And look, I don't know anything about trucks. I don't know whether you should have a hemispherical combustion chamber or should be nice and flat.
Right.
I don't have any idea whether you should have 2 valves or 4 valves. I don't know the difference between a half ton and a quarter ton. I don't even know what that means.
I think that's the payload.
Yeah, that's what you can put in the back?
How many kilotons?
I wouldn't have any clue the difference, the amount of dirt that was a half of a ton and the amount of dirt that was a 3/4 ton. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't know those things.
Couldn't eyeball them.
But I can tell you that when I go to buy, I'm looking for that. I'm looking for things like that. Those are the kind of, I still buy from a philosophical standpoint, and that means something to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a real travesty, and it's a shame that the Americans, the average, Main Street, and again, Main Street wasn't really in trouble during 2008. Wall Street was really in trouble because they were overextended, and my God, there might have been some missed bonuses if they hadn't bailed them out, and that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah,
there is a company called Lululemon that sells, I believe they sell high-end exercise wear.
When I was talking about the high-end companies, that was another one he mentioned. Yes, go ahead.
And I became cognizant of them, I think, around 2008. I hadn't heard of them before, but I saw them, and I thought, geez, I wonder what's going to happen to them expanding into this great recession. I looked, their stock price has just gone up. Since then, it trades like in the neighborhood of $200 a share now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, high-end exercise, expensive spandex?
I think it was kind of in the middle of the yoga craze.
Yeah.
Hit that sweet spot. And, very popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again,
is the yoga craze over?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. I don't think the yoga pants craze is over. I've seen those.
Here.
Yeah, right. All the best with the yoga pants.
I have nothing bad to say about yoga pants.
No.
But those are the types of things. And when you see indicators for companies that really do serve the middle class, serve Main Street, continuing going down, and you see the companies that are really only benefiting from the top, 10 or the 5% of the country, then something's screwed up. Something's skewed.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that anything's screwed up, but I would doubt that there's anything I could do about it. But what I can say is that if I can pick the top,
right,
I can pull my money out of. I know that there's Bitcoin IRAs. They've sent me emails. I know they exist. I would put my money currently in crypto. A lot of people feel like they've lost the crypto bubble. I was looking yesterday. There was a coin that was up 3,000% in 7 days.
Yeah.
3,000% in 7 days. No, I'm pretty sure the crypto bubble is not. The crypto bubble isn't popping or anything like that. There's a long way to go in this new and exciting technology. I mean, the guy who sold me movie tickets is like, Bitcoin's gonna bust. Like, what? Give me my popcorn.
Dude, I've got signs all over my store talking about pay for anything with Bitcoin. I have people that come in, they'll look at me like, So how's that whole Bitcoin thing working out for you? Like, I must have lost my shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I've got a lot of it that I still bought at $374 and
it's at $7,500 right now. So things are looking good.
So, we still have the stuff that comes in every day and, there's no short-term plan to liquidate anything. We're in such an infant
People look at it
stage.
look at it like a get-rich-quick scheme.
Right.
And it's not that.
No, not remotely.
Yes, Bitcoin does not work. Cryptocurrencies don't work as a get-rich-quick scheme necessarily. People have done it, but I don't recommend it. I don't recommend anything like that.
Right.
I recommend paying off all your debts and then start looking at what you can do with crypto after that. But that's what I would say regarding stocks, too.
Sure.
And I'm not going to tell somebody who's made money in the stock market over the last 6-9 months that they're an idiot. I wouldn't do that. Now, I can tell you they'll tell me I'm an idiot. They don't know anything about my financial situation.
Right.
But they'll tell me I'm an idiot.
Of course.
Because only an idiot would do that.
Crazy, Mark. You're crazy.
Yeah.
Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, they can't be double spent, and they're going to have some kind of memorial value for years to come.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live or LRN.FM on Skype.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of June 2nd to 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.40 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,293 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $30, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,493. Antiwar.com reports Friday's UN Security Council meeting saw votes on 2 Gaza resolutions failing, with the United States vetoing a resolution from Kuwait calling for the international protection of Palestinian civilians, and the alternative U.S. resolution failing outright. U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley promised the veto on Thursday, saying that the resolution was morally bankrupt and amounted to a threat to the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. In the past 2 months, Israel has killed 122 Palestinians and wounded over 13,000 others in Gaza. The Kuwait resolution was heavily supported and would have passed without the U.S. veto. There were no other no votes, though 4 nations did abstain. The U.S. managed to get its own resolution, which insisted all the deaths were the fault of Hamas and Islamic Jihad, to the table for a vote as well. The U.S. resolution went poorly, with the U.S. as the only yes vote and the other 11 countries abstaining outright. This has been described as a particularly humiliating failure for the United States, as they did not even get a token yes vote from a single ally. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports hourly employees will soon earn more at Costco, the latest company to raise its minimum hourly wage in an effort to hire and retain quality workers in a tight U.S. job market. Costco said Thursday that 130,000 employees will get a boost in pay to $14 or $14.50 per hour. Others will see raises between 25 and 50 cents per hour when the new rates take effect on June 11th. Costco said the pay hike is owed to last year's federal tax overhaul, which lowered the corporate tax rate. Costco said it will use the savings to invest in its workforce. Data released Friday showed U.S. unemployment at its lowest point in nearly half a century, something that forces large companies like Costco to compete for talent in industries with high turnover. Costco's move is the latest in a years-long national campaign by workers and advocates to hike the hourly minimum wage. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system and to fully capitalize on that decision in their fundraising efforts. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. Reuters reports the Texas Supreme Court affirmed on Friday that the state must reveal the source of the drugs it uses for executions. The court rejected the state's argument that doing so could lead to physical harm of the supplier and impede lethal injections. Ever since the sales ban of lethal injection drugs by major pharmaceutical companies a few years ago, most states have kept the suppliers of their drugs secret. This has prompted lawsuits on behalf of death row inmates, arguing that prisoners could be subjected to unconstitutional suffering from faulty drugs and lethal injection mixes from questionable suppliers. The Texas Supreme Court on Friday affirmed a May 2017 decision by an appellate court that said there was not enough compelling evidence provided by the state to show that there was a substantial threat of physical harm. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice said in a statement that it intends to file a motion with the court for a rehearing. According to the Death Penalty Information Center, the state of Texas has executed 551 people since capital punishment was reinstated in 1976, 37% of all U.S. executions, and more than triple any other state. Texas has also been one of the few states in the country able to procure a steady supply of execution drugs. In 2016, pharmaceutical company Pfizer joined a sales ban imposed years earlier by major European drug makers that did not want their products used in executions due to ethical concerns. This caused many states to scramble for suppliers and a few to suspend executions due to the lack of drugs. Although 31 states have the death penalty, only 8 have held executions since Pfizer's decision, which cut off the last major U.S. source for drugs in the lethal injection mixture. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A report confirms that many Iraqis are still holding a petty grudge about the U.S. invasion. An advanced alien civilization discovers an uninhabitable planet, and a single woman has a Facebook profile picture with her sister. This is the Onion Week in Review. A groundbreaking study published Monday in the Journal of the American Medical Association confirmed that it is impossible to lose weight. No one has ever done it, and those who are trying should give up immediately. Researchers said that findings conclusively prove that shedding excess weight has never happened, changing your physical appearance is impossible, and that all sorts of exercises, personal training regimens, and diets will never, ever work.
Well, our test results conclusively prove that if you're going to the gym to lose weight, you will fail. You could work out every day and eat nothing, and you still wouldn't lose an ounce. Skinny people will stay skinny. Overweight people will be overweight. That's just how it is.
In other news, an area man is outraged his private information is being collected by someone other than advertisers. And a crowd cheers as this 93-year-old hookup finally graduates from college.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live about whatever is on your mind. It's Mark with you this evening.
Jonny Ray.
And Chris.
On this live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live. We are live 7 days a week, 365 days a year, going back many years here on Free Talk Live. Haven't missed a broadcast. Live for you. Just call in, whatever you might want to talk about, 7 to 10. Here on Free Talk Live. The number is 855-450-3733. We spent the last hour talking about economic indicator numbers and what's going on with the economy, and you're certainly welcome to call in and talk about those things. I want to go on with some more numbers, and I was just thinking before we came on the air, what kind of ties together the stories on Free Talk Live, what makes them what they are, and I think to some extent, and I said in the last hour, I hate bears, right? I hate economic bears. People are always looking for bad news and that kind of thing. But I really do believe the United States is burning. I think that it is on the decline from what it was at a once great country that supported its middle class, and things were great, to what it is today. And y'all are fiddling, is what I have to say about most of America out there, whatever they might be doing, whether they're working for the government or working for Wall Street or high on heroin, whatever it might be. Y'all are fiddling while Rome burns. And look, I don't feel any allegiance. I don't have to stay here. You can build a wall. You won't keep me in. That's what I think it draws it all together. And you can call and comment on that, too. You can call me a bad American. I want to dig down into that, what that means.
No, Mark, I don't think I've ever heard you say that before. Those are very, very strong words. I would be afraid to say something like that.
What, that America's on the decline?
Yeah.
No, I've said it many times on the air here, and people don't dispute it. No one has ever called in and said, "Oh no, we're on our way to the heyday." Now I can make an argument against, and I've got calls on the line, so I'll make it very brief. The argument against that would be, look, in order to be the tallest midget in the contest, all you have to do is be taller than the other midgets, and the United States does that. It fails. It fails its way to success because the rest of the states that are out there are that much worse. But that doesn't mean that there aren't people. There are those among us that move through international lines like fishes. Yeah, fish is probably a better term. Fishes means a different species as opposed to lots of one species. Lots of one species is still just fish. Like fishes through water. And they, we don't see these numbers. We don't see their numbers, the economic indicators, or anything like that, because they are a class above, or an outclass, as it were. They just, they're international. They're not national numbers. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. And I would encourage people. I think that is the way of the future. The internet, she's international. Doug in Illinois. Doug, you're on Free Talk Live.
No, I'd have to agree with you, Mark. I'm one of them people who do not get up for the pledge. I don't worship the multicolored cloth, the red, white, and blue cloth. If they were half that worried about their freedom and their liberty like they are about the cloth, the flag, we might not be having all the trouble that we're having. Here can be one indication here. Did you hear about the report?
I want to comment on the getting up for the flag thing. For those of you out there that would be upset that somebody didn't stand for the flag, just consider they're not standing for the flag because they want to hurt your feelings. They're not standing for the flag because they want to inform you of something. They want to impart on you what it is that they're thinking. They may be right and they may be wrong, but that's what they want to do. A person who stands for the flag and it is meaningless to them, that's the person that doesn't want to fight you and doesn't want to argue with you and doesn't care about you one whit.
Right.
Like I might there have been times when I've stood for the flag. You know why? Because I don't care about these idiots that are surrounding me. I go on the air 7 nights a week to tell the people this stuff, and they call in and argue with me about it. So I say,
I mean, I look
why
at
should
it
I
being
take
like
the slings and
propaganda.
arrow?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
I look at it being like propaganda. I look at it, the people being like sheep. I mean, they're pretty much giving their approval to government. Here it can be like, okay, law should apply to everybody. It should apply to everybody, okay? Mm-hmm. We had a report today of an FBI agent. They've had it all over the internet and all over the TV. I don't know if you heard about it. The FBI agent who went to a nightclub in Denver, Colorado.
I read this story.
He did a backflip. The gun went off, and it shot a guy in the leg. Now, I went back on the internet, and I went back on Channel 4 out of Denver and all of their TV and their local media for more than a decade, and I could find people that unintentionally shot other people. One guy had been cleaning a gun, and he ended up shooting the neighbor on the porch.
Happened to a guy here in Keene. Yep.
Every one of them were charged. Every one of them were charged with a crime. Now, the FBI agent, the Denver PD took him in. They did not charge him, and they let him go to another FBI agent. I don't know what they call him, but, another pile of garbage.
Yeah, and
they, that can be what people like me are talking about. Here can be one thing out of a billion that we're talking about. You're having tyranny take over. You're having where, the people, any little damn thing that we do, hey, we could be thrown in jail for it. I've never had an encounter with the law. I've never even had a ticket in my life, but I'm watching it happen. And yet the people who are in authority, who have a badge and a gun, who should know better, are given, free and clear in everything that they do.
They're a different class.
Right. The FBI agent attempted a backflip. The gun fell out. He picked it up, and then it went off.
Right.
So
Bad trigger discipline.
Yeah, this isn't a gun killing somebody. This is an FBI.
You know what?
And it didn't kill anybody. It wounded his leg.
I saw my son carrying his Nerf
FBI
gun,
agent.
and he had his finger along the side of the gun. You know why? Because from the day he got a gun, he learned trigger discipline. These yahoos, and I don't care whether they've got college degrees or not, because all FBI agents do. I don't care who they are. They don't know what they're doing in many cases.
A lot of them don't.
But my point could be go back in Colorado and look at all the people who have had their gun go off and they haven't even shot anybody, and then they're charged with a crime. They're charged with it. They're doing jail time over it.
The agent tried to melt into the background.
Yeah, I saw that too. So to me, here was my take on it, and I'm one of those people that I think about this stuff constantly because I constantly carry a gun, and it's constantly concealed like this. This guy had his concealed. First, I don't go to nightclubs, get ridiculously drunk, and then try to do a backflip while I'm carrying a gun.
That seems like a good place to start.
I will say that since I started carrying more, my lifestyle has changed. I don't go out and get hammered drunk.
You've got to be more responsible.
I have to be, and that's for my safety and
Thanks for the call, Doug.
safety
Appreciate
for
it.
everybody around me. But to Doug's point, it's different classes of citizens, and more it becomes the government class and those who are not in the government class or not favored by the government
When
class.
was the last time you saw a police officer pull over another police officer and give him a ticket for rolling through a stop sign?
I found one YouTube on something similar to that.
I found a YouTube on a police officer being pulled over for doing 110.
It was down in Florida, right?
Right.
Yeah, I saw
Going
that one
from
too.
one job to another he was pulled over by a state trooper, and let's not forget that the state trooper who pulled him over, she dealt with all kinds of harassment.
She did.
Terrible harassment. So no, you just don't. I mean, in this case, it was speeding. That's not a stop sign, because I like to use stop signs because, I mean, how many people have been run over by somebody who rolled through a stop sign? It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
It means that they're stopping. They're kind of slowing down quite a bit. They're looking at what's going on, and, there's no point in giving somebody a ticket for that, in my opinion. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. And I think that although I would love it if in a country like the United States, law enforcement held itself to the same or even a similar standard. The fact is, you can see department after department after department that they favor the ruling class. I'm not talking about rich people. I'm talking about the ruling class.
Right.
It's different here in the United States.
Right.
Not exactly the same.
Then quit saying it's a country of law, not of men, because that no longer applies.
I don't know that it ever did. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
From the sixth letter of Captain Mark. A pirate's life is characterized by voluntary interactions. Unfortunately, the Crown presses everyone into involuntary servitude. Landlubbers believe slavery was abolished years ago, but the Crown still claims to own us when it crimps us into service against our will. Given sufficient ambition, it would gladly draft thousands of hapless victims to kill or be killed. It's simply slavery by another name. Landlubbers are routinely commanded to serve the so-called justice system in jury duty. But before you swell with civic pride, consider that how you feel is irrelevant to the Crown. You will appear as ordered or face punitive measures. The Crown insists that you participate in your own oppression. A jury summons provides pirates with a unique opportunity to obstruct injustices. A juror can vote not guilty, even if it's proven the law was violated. A juror can acquit for any reason at all, and not even a judge can reverse that verdict. Receiving a jury summons is basically winning the sedition lottery. But if you reveal that you know this during jury selection, you'll probably be dismissed. If the Crown foolishly crimps a pirate into jury duty, it behooves the pirate to conceal their intention to nullify unjust laws. If a master takes 100% of your labor, it's called slavery. But if they only take 50%, they call it taxation, a difference of degree, not of kind. Whether the Crown claims a fortune or a cent is irrelevant. Most of all, a slave owner desires contented slaves, meaning thoughtless ones that accept their bondage. These house slaves see no contradiction in being drafted in a war to end slavery or summoned to a jury to prosecute tax evasion. An ideal slave knows no higher call than the master's will. The Crown's highest ambition is that its slaves revere the authority that subjugates them. But the Crown does not own me. I will not surrender my time and treasure to the Crown's ambitions. Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind on here at this live edition. Talking about the, state of the American hegemony. You're not supposed to say empire. It's not an empire. It's hegemony. And, that's supposed to benefit all of us. I'm not sure it does as much as it used to. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Bitcoin.com, longtime sponsor of Free Talk Live. And we're happy to have them. They are the go-to place to find out about cryptocurrency news. If you want to get into Bitcoin, if you want to find out about how to get a wallet, how to purchase Bitcoin, how to mine Bitcoin, they've got all that information. What you can do with your Bitcoins. All of it at Bitcoin.com. And, as far as I'm concerned, great news source and the one-stop shop for all of it. Bitcoin.com. Let's go to Nick calling in from New York. Nick, you're on Free Talk Live.
How you guys doing? How you doing?
All's well. What's on your mind?
I wanted to talk about the bomb scare at the University of Washington. It's brought up some controversy about freedom of speech. Have you guys heard about it?
No.
I hadn't heard about it.
Not me.
So basically, there was a YouTube live streamer who was streaming, and his viewers could pay donations in order to play sound effects through a speaker on his backpack. And someone paid to play a bomb threat sound effect, and he got arrested for that. You guys think he should be liable? Or
should he be liable?
Right, it was a text-to-speech thing.
I see.
Yeah,
and
the
subscribers maybe, I mean, I just saw the headline, but the subscribers maybe could type what they wanted to, and the speaker would repeat it.
And that caused like a whole evacuation of a building.
Did it cause a whole evacuation because somebody was walking around with a speaker that had a... Okay.
Yep, and then he got arrested for that. They got him, I think he's charged for, I don't know, something that could be a felony, 5 to 10 years if he gets convicted.
Well, I guess my question would be, did he know this was going to happen? Did he suspect this was going to happen? Was this just sort of news to him? Because I think that's kind of inventive to have people pay money to, type words and have them come out of a speaker on a backpack. Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great way to make a little money here.
Well, not to say there's a xenophobic aspect to this, but the YouTuber goes by the name Arab Andy.
Arab Andy. All right.
Arab Andy. Yeah, and just can you turn down your radio just a bit? We're hearing a little bit of feedback.
There's some
in the
talk
background.
back on your speakers. Yeah.
Thank you. YouTube live streamer who goes by, quote, Arab Andy online was arrested last night in Seattle after walking into a University of Washington classroom and playing a text-to-speech bomb threat. YouTube has taken the live stream down for violating its terms of service. Mirror uploads are still available to watch on YouTube.
There always are.
Arab Andy can be seen walking into a classroom and playing audio of a text-to-speech donation from a viewer. Text-to-speech donations are popular with many streamers and allow viewers to donate a specific dollar amount to having their message or pre-recorded audio played on stream. Andy's stream continues after the college area is evacuated. He's heard boasting about creating a highlight reel, claiming this will be one of the greatest live streams yet.
He sounds happy about it. All right.
His stream continued even as he was arrested, and text-to-speech comments can be heard mocking the situation. What he did, what they are charging him with is, up to Class B felony, which could mean 10 years in jail and things like that. The question I would have is, if you're making a platform available, it's sort of like the whole debate we've had with the internet lately. Are content providers responsible for content that is placed on
He
their
sounds
websites?
pretty happy about it, though, and that, to me, it indicates responsibility to some extent.
I wouldn't mind seeing him pay the costs of any responders who came, or any costs associated with it.
You'd be stunned at the bills that they trot out for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And to some extent, I don't know how you're supposed to respond to this. The
big thing is, I think that people, they think it's an illegitimate threat, so they don't think he should be held liable. But I agree. I think it's just a jest, and it shouldn't be taken so seriously.
And that's kind of the difficulty here. And Nick, I appreciate it. There's been some audio issues, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE.
It seems to me, it sounds like he went in with a boombox and pressed play the way the story is described.
Yeah, that certainly does.
I'm skeptical of that.
It sounds like he's just walking around the backpack with a speaker that plays
what people are typing.
At home. But to some extent, it sounds like he's like, yeah, look at that. I'm changing the world, or at least this university or this school or whatever it is. And if you think it's funny that a bomb threat's been perpetrated, then I've already got a problem with you. So, and the reality of the situation is you're walking around with a big backpack. That's a little scary. You're walking around being Arab, being happy about bomb threats in a big backpack. That's not going to go well. I will say that, at some point or another, you can't just take every nut job's bomb threat seriously, even if it's a silly one. Especially if it's a silly one.
I think the peculiar institution of public education draws the worst people. And I think the reason that we're having school shootings is because the schools are such horrible places where you're guaranteed to have an undefended populace that everybody loves and cares about. Not to say that isn't true about everybody, but
the private schools I went when I went to a private school, it's not like the students or the teachers were packing heat.
Mm-hmm.
So public school, private school, it doesn't seem to make a difference. But for whatever reason, and public schools seem to get hit more often.
Yeah, I don't know. And the question the caller called in about, I thought was particularly interesting, was just saying, what about the free speech angle on this?
Yeah.
And
there's no victim here,
right.
No crime. I mean, I suppose you could say the victim is the taxpayer for having to pay for this, and the students for having to, get up and walk out of class or whatever.
Right. But I immediately, whenever I hear anything like this occurring, I immediately think of Walter Block. Dr. Walter Block, he publishes through the Mises Institute. But one of his books was Defending the Undefendable. Did you ever read that?
Oh yeah, I've read that probably twice.
I've given it as a gift, but I generally don't like what I hear. I generally don't like Walter Block because he's too scientific and gimmicky.
In this one, it certainly was gimmicky, but it was trying to put a liberty spin on what most people would consider despicable people in society.
Yeah.
The pimp, the prostitute, the scab. But one of the ones he talked about was, the person who yells fire in a crowded theater.
Yeah.
And him arguing that, well, unless that was spelled out as part of the contract, there may be people who get a perverse thrill by being horribly scared. And there may be people, and maybe they feel that money is well worth it. So unless you...
That sounds outrageous.
Specifically, no. He does go to great lengths to justify anything, and that's part of what he does.
Yeah, wow.
But I thought that was an interesting take, and it's the first thing I thought of.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. Love to hear your opinion on it.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com.
where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. The number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. Talking about this young man who apparently was walking around with at least a speaker, if not a cell phone, probably a cell phone hooked to a speaker or something like that. Maybe a backpack. We're not entirely sure on the story. And streaming the whole incident as people typed to text to audio through the speaker. So they could basically pay money to say anything they want through the speaker. And apparently one of them thought that it would be lots of fun to type in a bomb threat. And the result was an evacuation from school and these sorts of things. And the guy gets arrested. He seemed happy about it. He's like, yeah, we're going to get lots of views, which, those views aren't going to do you any good in jail. Your views of jail would be interesting.
Well, they might. I mean, I hear that YouTube doesn't pay very well, not as much as maybe they used to, but more views could be money that you can enjoy.
If there's a direct way of monetizing your content, which it sounds like there is,
but it's not.
Can actually,
it's not great.
In the video, Jamal Arab Andy Hassan walks into an event in Savory Hall and plays a recording that starts, "The C4 is charged," unquote.
Oh, God.
Then the recording starts counting down. People begin fleeing the room while Hassan starts chuckling.
I can't believe you're laughing, Mark.
It's funny. I'm sorry.
I made the crowd blank run for their lives,
Yeah.
Hassan can be heard saying in the video.
Some guy named Hassan is chuckling about the fact that he's going to be arrested very shortly for a bomb threat. I'm sorry. That's funny stuff.
The threat happened around 5 p.m. and provoked a large response from police in Seattle.
bet it
Fire. According to University of Washington Police Chief John Vinson, Hassan was later arrested in the University District on a charge of making a bomb threat. Hassan was still at the King County Jail Friday morning. Hassan also recorded a video of that arrest where police order him to the ground at gunpoint along University Way Northeast.
Wouldn't be chuckling if he was shot dead. Liberty.menu. Libertarians have for many years asked us to find them or create for them some kind of yellow pages for libertarianism, and so that they could do business with people that believe in the ideas of liberty, so that they could have all the information about events in one location. We made it easy for you. We hooked up with liberty.menu, and they're exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and for those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Go over there, put your voluntarist ideas into action at liberty.menu. Use code FTL, get a special badge. It's liberty.menu and use code FTL. Let's go to Barry calling in from South Carolina. Barry, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, how you guys doing?
All's well. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, you know, I mean, I hear you laughing about the bomb threat and stuff. You know, I really don't think any of that's funny.
Well, different people find different things funny.
Well, they do, yeah. But I mean, you know,
Barry, I don't find it funny either. I'm going to step right over to your side and say, Mark, I've never been more disappointed.
Sorry.
I've with someone.
Made me chuckle.
You know, I must be listening to a different station, or I'm getting a station. I'm getting a program that's older than you folks are right now.
Sure. What was being said?
I don't know. I can't listen to two things at once. You know, I'm not a.
That's
I'm
okay.
just being honest, you know. But anyway, you know, I really enjoy your show. I wanted to say that to you folks, and you know, I enjoy listening to you folks, but I kind of get you like in the morning when it's the night before and so on and so forth. But
that's one of the things Free Talk Live is offered to stations, and they carry us at any time that's convenient for them. We'd love them to carry us live, but you can call any time between 7 p. and 10 p. Eastern Time to discuss what's important to you. So, yep, whatever that might be, Barry.
I know.
So, can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So this guy was arrested. He's going to face up to 10 years in jail. Do you think that's an appropriate sentence for what it comes down to a bad joke? It was in horrible taste.
He terrified a bunch of people.
But there was no physical threat to anybody. Do you think should he face 10 years?
Well, I kind of think he ought to have some kind of punishment. You know, a joke is a joke, but if he's you know, putting out something that really does harm to people, either emotionally or directly as a threat, yeah, man. I mean, you know, what if it was your child in that school?
Well, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't send mine to government school. But I will say this. I think he deserves a punishment, but I think that punishment should be mandatory, that he has to work for 6 months as a janitor at this school. Like, that's what I would rather see. I would rather see him working as service to the people that he harmed, because you know the harm is minimal here, other than the government response, and the government response is difficult to quantify. Those firemen were in all likelihood not doing anything. Well, I know as a fireman.
Yeah, and I will say that the scariest part, what was likely the scariest part after everyone realized it was a joke, was probably a bunch of armed police storming in there. Jonny Ray, I think you nailed it, because there are going to be some hard costs associated with
Thanks
this.
for the call, Barry.
There was a reaction by local police and fire, and they're going to charge enormous amounts. And, you know, the college may have had to pull in additional people. There would have been costs that are going to get borne by the taxpayers in that area, you know, because
and there's no avoiding it.
Yeah. So I thought that was right on. I think some sort of retribution, and that could go right along with what you're talking about, Mark. Let him be the school janitor.
Let's go to Matt calling in. He's listening on YouTube. Matt, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, good evening.
Hey.
I'd like your indulgence and to be able to talk about two things, if I may.
Well, be interesting on the first.
I hope to be. Okay. You all were talking at the beginning of the show about the economic situation and the unemployment number, And I remember all throughout the Obama administration, all the Obama critics, and I was one of them, we would point to the U6 number and say, that's the real unemployment number. That's the real unemployment number.
Right.
Now that the U3 number is looking really good, all the people who worship Donald Trump, and listen, I'm a Trump supporter, but I am not a Trump worshiper.
Okay.
They are like, oh, look at the U3 number. Look at the U3 number. I'm like, guys, let's look at the U6 number. So I make a habit of doing that, and the U6 number is, when I checked it, it was 8.6%, but it's trending down. So that is a good thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All I know is I haven't left work before 6 o'clock since November.
What's that mean to you? Is that more work, more productivity is being made? I mean, your orders are up, or is that you're working so hard because they won't hire somebody else, or what?
We're flooded, and my boss hesitates to hire anybody else because he doesn't know how long this is going to last.
Yeah.
But he is looking at buying more new machinery because of the 100% expensing, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, the machinery, it's not going to take a vacation.
No, and the machinery will help me do my job. Now, there is something going on with gun rights that is very concerning, and it is not making the news at all, except in a kind of a peripheral sort of way. And I heard this on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. I was tribute my sources.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that Gun Talk show, and it's actually carried by Radio America, which is one of our business partners. I want you to hold the line if you would, Matt, and I want to hear what this...
I will do that, sir.
Yeah, this firearms news is here on Free Talk Live. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. Or you can call us on Skype. Nobody has this evening. The audio is great. All you have to do is send us a request. Our username is lrn.fm. We also have the Discord where you can go into the Discord chat and we can take you there. Discord.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open the Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. You dial 911 and the police roll. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime, which is why I chose Blink. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
This is Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Fred's a repeater.
I tend to repeat.
Fred has a business.
I do have a business.
And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work.
Over and over.
But Fred is about to see a vision.
I'm seeing a vision.
Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm.
If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Been all over the board this evening. First talking about unemployment numbers and the Dow, then America and, its future. The bomb threat that went on in a school, Washington State school. Thank you very much. And now apparently some gun talk from Matthew. Matthew, you're back on Free Talk Live.
Okay, so what is happening is that a lot of businesses, firearms retailers and manufacturers that have websites are having QuickBooks stop processing their credit cards and refunding money back to people who have already paid for merchandise. And in some cases, merchandise is already shipped out.
Say this all again. I think I'm confused. QuickBooks is doing... Tell me again.
Okay. QuickBooks has a credit card processing service.
Right?
Correct.
And they are taking action against people who sell over the internet, in firearms manufacturers, people who retail firearms, like Bud's Guns, for instance. And they are reversing the transactions in many cases, and then canceling many orders.
Just sort of automatically without the buyer's, the seller's consent, right? The vendor.
Precisely.
Wow.
And really without the buyer's consent. And they're doing this under the theory that this is not a face-to-face transaction.
I see.
But the problem is that they hit the Gunsight Academy for things such as lessons paid for over the internet, T-shirts,
sure,
baseball caps, and things of that nature. And plus, every firearm that's sold over the internet has to go to an FFL anyway.
Right.
So they're
is that every fire? Hold on. Before you go on, is that every firearm, or is that just firearms that are sold outside of your state? I believe, let's say look, this is not legal advice. I don't know the specific states involved, but Texas is a big state.
Sure.
And it may very well be that there's no federal rule on going through an FFL if you're selling inside of Texas. So you could sell a gun from Houston to Austin or something like that and then just ship it. This is just a guess on my part. I have no clue.
Okay, this is the way it works, is that if you are an FFL, and most of, even on the big gun auction sites, these are mostly FFL.
Right, these are firearms, licensed firearm dealers.
Right. you can only ship to another FFL.
Okay.
Where they do the Form 4474 background check.
Right.
And so those consequences, no such thing as a unseen transaction. An individual can sell to another individual, irrespective of the, whatever QuickBooks decides to do. But how many individuals use QuickBooks to
It seems
process
unlikely.
credit cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, and I can't find any news on that. And if you can point us to a link, that'd be great. I find it amazing.
I will have to tell you to listen to I believe it's the second hour of Gun Talk. He's up on YouTube.
I'll keep an eye on it, yeah.
Yeah, but to take on Hickok 45's favorite gun dealer, I mean, that's sort of if there were a way to throw down the gauntlet against the Second Amendment, that would be how you would do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's affected. Bud's gun yet, but I was using them as an example.
Oh, okay.
But I would kind of like to relate this, if I may, to what's going on in the UK.
Well, very quickly, I've got callers.
Okay, I'm sure you do, and I will make this fast. You've heard about what happened to Tommy Robinson, right?
No.
Yep.
You may or may not care for him, but they just threw him in the clink.
Oh, yeah.
And I made this point to Sargon of Akkad. If you lose your right to bear arms, you will soon lose your right to speak. And am I being a little extreme saying you may soon lose your right to live?
Thanks for the call, Matthew. Appreciate it.
Ciao.
They say that the right to keep and bear arms is what secures all the other rights, but, the rights aren't secured, so this doesn't really hold
It didn't work too well.
Let's take Dana calling in from Michigan. Dana, you're on Free Talk Live. Oh, may not be Michigan. Dana, can you hear me? Did I lose him? Check. 1, 2. Looks like I'm gone.
Dang it.
These things happen. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Let me ask you something about this buying guns, Chris. So they say you can buy guns from an individual, but, does Craigslist allow people to list guns?
I think a lot of the sites like Craigslist specifically exclude firearms and things like that just so they don't get caught up in the legal rigmarole.
So how do these people actually buy and sell guns? Are we back in the 80s here, going through the newspaper?
Yeah, no. Gunbroker.com is a big one. You can go there and you can get matched up with either an FFL or, I think in some cases, private owners. And shipping guns to private owners and things like that and doing sales through the mail. Again, this is not legal advice, and please double-check your regulations. But I think if you're sending a rifle or a shotgun to someone else in your own state, not crossing state lines, I believe that is legal. Handguns, that's always a no-no. But I think you can ship to someone in your own state as part of a private sale.
Let's go to David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, specifically Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I got my subject, but because you're talking about that gun thing, I've been publicly stating my theory for years on the radio that the United States gun ownership rights, what we have left of it from the Constitution, is the only thing from keeping the whole world in a domino effect fashion from falling into that one world government thing. If picture everything bad from the past, communism or fascism, whatever country you want, without the few remaining checks and balances that remain, if you don't fight for those things, you will be living under those kind of systems worldwide. These people in power, Democrat, Republican, whichever side you want to put it on, or both of them, they will take everything from you if you stop fighting them. What little we're fighting them now if you stop, it will become Planet of the Apes.
It's not that I don't think that the Second Amendment's good, and it's not that I don't think that bad things could happen without it, but I think one needs to look in the right direction for the bad things that come. And I always wonder about this one world government idea. It seems like it's counterintuitive in the sense that politicians don't like to give up power, and if you had one world government, you would have fewer politicians because there wouldn't be the redundancy in the situation. I think about this for a second. No one gives a flying flip at a rolling donut whether or not Anguilla goes back and reforms with Nevis and St. Kitts into a government, but if there was a tendency for the one world government thing to be happening, you would think that they'd sweep together some of these smaller nations, but we get more and more nations now, not fewer and fewer.
Well, to David's point, hold on for just a second, David. I mean, for the first thing, I mean, and I think it's an interesting thought that the U.S.'s last remaining holdout for firearms ownership by private citizens, it's pretty much in the whole world. There isn't a whole lot of, and certainly not in the first world countries.
I think Czech Republic is like the next closest what I've heard.
But that's kind of it.
But it's at half the gun ownership numbers, and that's just reported numbers, which are likely half of what the real numbers are in the United States.
Right. But to
Americans
the second
love
point,
guns.
Yeah. But to the second point of one world government, I think. I truly, I mean, economically, I know there's a 1%. I know there's a 5%. And I think a lot of those people are involved in politics because that's where the power is. And I think if they see that collectively, removing boundaries and or at least controlling policy worldwide benefits them, I think they'll do it. And I think we have some examples of that happening in the past.
Like?
You hit me too quick and you hit me on a break, but I'll think about it.
Excuse me. Hello?
I got you.
Yeah, well, you're going to a break. I won't have time to finish what I was trying to say.
All right, hold the line. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. No. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of June 2nd to 3rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.40 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,293 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $30, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,493. Antiwar.com reports Friday's UN Security Council meeting saw votes on 2 Gaza resolutions failing, with the United States vetoing a resolution from Kuwait calling for the international protection of Palestinian civilians, and the alternative U.S. resolution failing outright. U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley promised the veto on Thursday, saying that the resolution was morally bankrupt and amounted to a threat to the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. In the past 2 months, Israel has killed 122 Palestinians and wounded over 13,000 others in Gaza. The Kuwait resolution was heavily supported and would have passed without the U.S. veto. There were no other no votes, though 4 nations did abstain. The U.S. managed to get its own resolution, which insisted all the deaths were the fault of Hamas and Islamic Jihad, to the table for a vote as well. The U.S. resolution went poorly, with the U.S. as the only yes vote and the other 11 countries abstaining outright. This has been described as a particularly humiliating failure for the United States, as they did not even get a token yes vote from a single ally. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports hourly employees will soon earn more at Costco, the latest company to raise its minimum hourly wage in an effort to hire and retain quality workers in a tight U.S. job market. Costco said Thursday that 130,000 employees will get a boost in pay to $14 or $14.50 per hour. Others will see raises between 25 and 50 cents per hour when the new rates take effect on June 11th. Costco said the pay hike is owed to last year's federal tax overhaul, which lowered the corporate tax rate. Costco said it will use the savings to invest in its workforce. Data released Friday showed U.S. unemployment at its lowest point in nearly half a century, something that forces large companies like Costco to compete for talent in industries with high turnover. Costco's move is the latest in a years-long national campaign by workers and advocates to hike the hourly minimum wage. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system and to fully capitalize on that decision in their fundraising efforts. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. Reuters reports the Texas Supreme Court affirmed on Friday that the state must reveal the source of the drugs it uses for executions. The court rejected the state's argument that doing so could lead to physical harm of the supplier and impede lethal injections. Ever since the sales ban of lethal injection drugs by major pharmaceutical companies a few years ago, most states have kept the suppliers of their drugs secret. This has prompted lawsuits on behalf of death row inmates, arguing that prisoners could be subjected to unconstitutional suffering from faulty drugs and lethal injection mixes from questionable suppliers. The Texas Supreme Court on Friday affirmed a May 2017 decision by an appellate court that said there was not enough compelling evidence provided by the state to show that there was a substantial threat of physical harm. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice said in a statement that it intends to file a motion with the court for a rehearing. According to the Death Penalty Information Center, the state of Texas has executed 551 people since capital punishment was reinstated in 1976, 37% of all U.S. executions, and more than triple any other state. Texas has also been one of the few states in the country able to procure a steady supply of execution drugs. In 2016, pharmaceutical company Pfizer joined a sales ban imposed years earlier by major European drug makers that did not want their products used in executions due to ethical concerns. This caused many states to scramble for suppliers and a few to suspend executions due to the lack of drugs. Although 31 states have the death penalty, only 8 have held executions since Pfizer's decision, which cut off the last major U.S. source for drugs in the lethal injection mixture. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Well, our own Rebecca Mara takes us on a tour of the Olympic Village.
We have a full-size bed, lounge area, showers, plenty of space, which is great because I'm constantly having sex in there.
The Village is a temporary home to the world's most physically impressive, athletic men and women. It was important to the Olympic Committee to give them a comfortable, state-of-the-art area to each other's brains out while they're not competing.
We have a pool where they can have a sex, a theater where they can have a sex. All these athletes are hot, horny, ready to go. They deserve the best.
I was in Vancouver where I got eaten out by this French speed skater. And I have to say, these facilities are even better, and I'm going to try to a Japanese guy.
You've spared no expense.
These athletes deserve the best. They sacrifice so much for their countries. They deserve to be able to until their and can't take it anymore.
And these facilities won't go to waste. Once the Olympics are over, they'll be converted to a resort where Russian businessmen can come to their prostitutes.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are welcome to call in and talk live here on this live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live. We're an open lines current events radio program that's on 7 days a week from 7p to 10p Eastern Time. No matter where you are in the world, you can look that up. They got the internet. It's great for that. And it's Mark with you.
Jonny Ray.
And Chris.
Whatever's on your mind, you're welcome to call in and talk about it. We've got David on Skype here, so the audio is pretty good. And David was getting to a point that I kind of interrupted, so I wanted to let him make that point. David, you're back on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I won't get to all my points, and I won't try to because there's so many. But I'll go that direction. First of all, let me respond to two things that you said, Mark. One, my answer to your question is the small nations
You've got to
don't
hold on.
matter.
You got to repeat the question. Where not everybody's listening the whole time.
Yeah, well, you had said something about questioning the one world government attempt, giving an example of the small nations like St. Kitts, Nevis, whatever else you said.
Yep.
And let's clarify what you did say. You said something about them getting back together or separating.
They were at one point British protectorates, and they attempted to, at one point they were sort of grouped together, and then St. Kitts and Nevis broke off, and but Nevis wanted to kind of be with Anguilla. I don't know. It's all kind of a mixed up thing. I'm just wondering, when we talk about a one world government, obviously we in America, we see this as a threat and everything, but the politicians see it as a threat too. They don't want they don't want to be told what to do. They want to have their sovereignty, their autonomy, and so
yeah. But that was the other thing I wanted to respond to what you said. The politicians don't matter. They're replaceable. They're interchangeable. The politicians don't have the money that drives the machine. It's whoever it is behind the politicians supplying the money. That's whose motives we're talking about. The politicians don't matter a whit. One little bit. And as far as the Anguilla and whatever, it doesn't matter if three of them get together and form a new nation, and it's even better if from the one world government's viewpoint, if three small nations split up into that are together, split up into three individual smaller nations, that's even better, because if I'm going to militarily tell you what the hell you're going to do after I control the U.S. and Europe and so on, the smaller you are, the easier it is for me to kill you, and so they don't matter. But like I said, that's not what I called about. What I called about is it's related, because the only reason I'm listening to you right now, the only reason I even know you exist, is because my government, in this case the state of New Mexico through the county of Bernalillo, with the government of the United States sitting on its fat ass and not doing anything to protect my constitutional rights. The only reason I'm paying attention to you or any of this is because my children were trafficked 10 years ago. I think there have been lots of good books and movie thrillers that have been written about that scenario, where somebody's wife or their children are kidnapped, and then there's a real exciting movie that goes on for 2 hours right after that event. And that's what happened to me. My children disappeared overnight. They were kidnapped by the state. I didn't have any warning, and I never saw them again. Okay, that's what happened to me, and that's why I pay attention, and that's why for 10 years I've been doing nothing but connecting the dots as to what the hell happened to me, what the hell is going on. And when I call you guys, I get a few seconds to connect one more dot or a half a dot or two dots, and there are thousands of them that I've identified. And the One World thing, that's just a couple of them. And because you were talking about that immediately before bringing me on, so I connect a couple of my dots to what you said, so that nobody can accuse me of hijacking the conversation. Not that you care about that here, but that's actually there. Let me connect another dot. You're a radio station, and you do Free Talk Live, and you do it really well. You do it better than anyone else. Because on any other venue, I'd have already been hung up on 5 minutes ago. Because the second you start talking about something on our local radio, and I won't name them, and I don't know why I can't name them, but I don't want to risk getting hung up on. And it's not Kiva, the one that carries you. Right now, Kiva doesn't do any of that, but Kiva's competitor does. They censor anything that starts to show a bad light on people that come on their radio station and provide content for them to sell advertising against that goes into their bank account. So the second I start critiquing some politician that's a guest right now, or was a guest last week, or is going to come on next week.
Yeah, they really hate that, David. I got to say. But radio stations, they want to have those local politicians on. They know that's what brings revenue in, and when somebody calls in and starts sticking the needles to the local politicians, I've watched radio hosts lose their jobs over that stuff. It's not that I agree with it, but I understand why they do it, and I know that they're going to do it.
Right, and I understand it too, and I certainly don't agree with it. And I've been basically walking the fine line for the last 10 years, and getting banned and censored in every different way. When I try to I'm whistleblowing is what I'm doing, and they're shutting me up. And like I said, I've told you to the point where the radio station that's owned by the citizens of the state of New Mexico, KUNM, at the University of New Mexico, they not only banned me, they called Sergeant Guevara of the UNM Police Department, who then called me and was telling me how he was going to arrest me for
I'm surprised they could even do all that. I mean, you'd think that a radio station that's owned by the people of the state. I appreciate the call, David. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even be able to keep somebody off. Well, whatever the case may be, the government kind of does what the government wants to do, and apparently they've taken the money from a family, about $58,000, Jonny Ray.
That's right.
These people were traveling with some money and they got it confiscated?
Some people with traveling to and from Albania.
Okay.
And I apologize because I don't know where to begin with some of the names.
Yeah, well, we'll do our best.
That's the disclaimer.
This is from Cleveland.com. It says the story is by the Washington Post. The 64-year-old Cleveland, Ohio man is suing U.S. Customs and Border Protection after agents strip searched him at an airport in October and took more than $58,000 in cash from him without charging him with any crime, according to a federal lawsuit filed this week in Ohio. Customs agents seized the money through a process known as civil asset forfeiture.
Which civil asset forfeiture is different than criminal asset forfeiture in that no crime has to have been committed, nobody has to have been charged.
Known as civil asset forfeiture, a law enforcement technique that allows authorities to take cash and property.
They didn't say a criminal technique.
From people who are never convicted or even charged with a crime. The practice is widespread at the federal level. In 2017, federal authorities seized more than $2 billion in assets from people.
Jeez.
A net loss similar in size to annual losses from residential burglaries in the United States.
The government competing with burglaries.
And losing.
Yeah.
Or winning.
Winning. More steal more from people than burglaries.
Customs says it suspects that the petitioner in the case, Rustem Kazazi, was involved in smuggling, drug trafficking, or money laundering. Kazazi strongly denies those allegations and says that the agency is violating federal law by keeping his money without filing any formal complaint against him.
If they suspect that, then you'd think they would charge him. But, I mean, a bunch of people have no responsibility for charging you.
God.
for charging this man have refused to charge this man and just took his money. That shows you how little they believe this suspicion that they have.
And I got to go back to the punctuation on that. They suspected the man of smuggling, drug trafficking, or money laundering. Like, out of those three, they couldn't narrow it down to one.
He just has money.
He's just got money.
I suspect, that's saying, of course a law enforcement officer suspects somebody with a bunch of cash to be doing those things. That's their job. They immediately are supposed to assume that. But that doesn't make it illegal to travel with that kind of money.
Right.
Now, you're supposed to declare that. If you're traveling more than $10,000 in cash, you're supposed to declare it.
Travel with crypto.
Well, there's that. And that's just another reason why you should look at a crypto as an investment. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids,
flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa,
the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
I'm getting joined by Ellie Granderson. She's going to put a feminine scope on these lace kerchief starbuggers and give us her lady opinion. Ellie?
Hi, Joe.
You know, it riles me up every time you walk in here, Ellie. You set my blood to dancing with all your pillowy parts.
Oh, stop it, Joe.
now give it to me, no fimble famble, Ellie. When we start dusting these rocket boys' lily white bottoms with baby puff?
Joe, since the end of the Cold War, NASA has basically functioned as a giveaway to the American aerospace industry, wasting trillions of taxpayer dollars every year on extravagant programs with no tangible benefit.
Fine as a plum to look at, all the sense of a badger to boot.
Joe.
Now I've been thinking on, I got these three little chickens pecking on my head while save NASA some coin. Man wants to go to space, can strap on the helmet, climb in the cannon, let the Chinese gunpowder carry him off among the stars. Y'all come back now. Gonna skin a fox in one throat, and you're gonna fancy on it.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version. or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can call in and comment on this story we're reading, which is an Albanian family robbed by the U.S. Customs of about almost $60,000 on the flimsiest of claims here, and or anything else here at Free Talk Live. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. I can imagine that it would make you lose some sleep if you lost that kind of money. But, not saying that MyPillow will help you recover sleep in that situation, but if you're having trouble sleeping, you've got you've got neck pain, maybe headaches during the day, MyPillow is a solution that you should start with. Certainly less costly than a mattress, which, maybe the mattress is the right thing too. I can tell you that, I sleep better now with my mattress too, but I carry MyPillow with me. I don't carry my mattress with me. Just goes to show my attachment to MyPillow. It's we got a deal here. So you go to MyPillow.com. You can get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for one low price and get free shipping on all orders when you use promo code FTL. Don't take my word for it. Yes, I love MyPillow and I do carry it with me, but think about a pillow that holds your head and neck in the right position rather than one of those awful down things like I used to use, or even better, that you can wash it because it doesn't have those disgusting skin mites or whatever the heck they are, the dust mites that eat dead skin and in there. Wash it on a regular basis. And if you don't like your MyPillow, you have 60 days to return it, so there's really no danger. It's a full refund. It's MyPillow.com, promo code FTL.
Kazazi is a retired officer with the Albanian police who relocated with his family to the United States in 2005 after receiving visas through the State Department's lottery program. They became U.S. citizens in 2011. After more than a decade away...
Sound pretty dedicated, hardworking folks. All right.
Kazazi planned a trip to Albania last fall to visit relatives, make repairs on a family property, and potentially purchase a vacation home. He took $58,100 in U.S. currency with him.
Doesn't surprise me that you might have to have cash to buy a vacation home in Albania.
The product of 12 years of savings by Kazazi, his wife Leela, and his son Harold, who is finishing a chemical engineering degree at Cleveland State University, according to the lawsuit. Thank you for your service, Harold.
Right.
The family lives in Parma Heights, a suburb of Cleveland. In an interview translated by his son, Rustem Kazazi said safety concerns prompted him to take cash on his trip rather than wire the funds to a local bank. The crime in Albania is much worse than it is here, he said. Other people that have made large withdrawals from Albanian banks.
Right. The teller says that, hey, there's this person just made a large withdrawal.
Right.
Hit them.
Have had people intercept them and take their money. The exchange rates and fees are also excessive.
So he wanted to carry cash. Like, this is the thing, is that the United States Customs Service is basically criminalizing carrying cash.
Right.
Look, I understand. A lot of people who are carrying cash are probably criminals, but that doesn't mean everybody is. And if they're coming to you and they're demanding their money back, don't hold these people's money. Criminals, drug cartels aren't coming to you and saying, hey, we want our money back.
No, that's the government response is a one-size-fits-all, regardless of the problem. If the problem is the perception of people evading taxes through cash or whatever it happens to be, they're going to come down with the law and they're going to come down with an arbitrary number. In this case, $10,000.
Yep.
Right? You do anything north of that, and we're just going to assume that you're involved in drugs, money laundering, or something evil.
Well, let's not forget that Kazazi, that's this guy's name?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, in order to get caught, in all likelihood, he reported this money. because you're supposed to report any money above $10,000 that you're carrying, and I don't see how U.S. Customs and Border Patrol would have found out. I mean, I've traveled internationally before. I have traveled internationally recently, just a few weeks ago, and he's a U.S. citizen. I'm a U.S. citizen. I didn't deal with U.S. Border and Customs Patrol, or whatever the heck, Customs and Border Patrol, on my way out. It was on my way in that I dealt with them.
It's probably protection.
Customs protection, yeah. Whatever it is. So my guess is he told them that he had more than $10,000, because you're asked to declare that. And he's a cop and, a good American, just recently became a citizen, so he's wanting to help. And, he told them. So they said, you have that much money? We're taking it from you. You can prove that you weren't doing it. It'll take months. Good luck.
Albanian contractors often prefer dollars and euros over the local currency, Kazazi said.
I'll bet.
For those reasons, he said, many expatriates who return to visit Albania bring large amounts of cash with them. On October 24th, Kazazi arrived at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport to begin the first leg of his journey, which would take him to Newark to connect with an international flight.
And this doesn't just happen on international flights. I mean, people are being stopped all over America. All levels of government are seizing people's money based on the flimsiest of excuses.
Oh, yeah.
They basically, the excuse is we saw cash.
Right.
Cash is bad.
Right. At this point, Kazazi has not left the country. All he's in Cleveland. He's got a connecting flight in Newark, right?
Yep.
Correct.
All right. So in the U.S., within our borders.
Yeah, these Customs and Border Patrol agents are nothing but, in this case, glorified highwaymen.
Right.
He carried the cash in 3 counted and labeled bundles in his carry-on bag, he said.
Sounds like a good place to keep it. I wouldn't put it in my checked bill luggage.
Right.
Along with receipts from recent bank withdrawals and documentation pertaining to his family's property in Tirana, the Albanian capital.
Amazing. This guy's got paperwork that shows the provenance of this money.
Right.
And these nimrods, these C students, these barely scraping by, mouth-breathing dullards that work for the Customs and Border Patrol agency, they're like, oh, no, we see cash. Our boss told us to get the cash. We see the cash. We're going to get the cash. I don't care if there's a receipt for it. It says where it's come from. I don't care if he was the police officer in some communist country, some halfway around the world of godless heathens and Muslims or what the hell they are.
Hey, Bob, we get to keep it, too.
Right. God, they probably got a spiff.
No, they get to keep it. Most law enforcement agencies, when they do civil asset forfeiture,
the agency
get to keep the money.
Yep. America, this is why I say your nation is crumbling. This is why I say you don't have anything like a nation of laws. These are law enforcement officers and the same people that you defend constantly.
There's your thin blue line.
They're criminals. No, the local law enforcement officers did not go up to these Customs and Border Patrol agents. They did not pull their guns. They did not put them on the ground, and they did not take this man's money back for them. These cops don't work for you. They work for these are the king's men. Be serious. Be serious. How can you defend this? But you will. You'll go on tomorrow. The Pledge of Allegiance comes on. You'll put your hand over your heart, and you'll say, yep, I pledge allegiance to these criminals.
BLT.
That's all it is. It's swearing to the king's men. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. I'm sorry. I've just read too many of these stories where they've robbed too many people.
Yep.
This system's corrupt. And if you don't call it out, you're corrupt too. Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. There's a family, U.S. citizens, had their money taken from them on the way to a foreign country to buy some vacation property. This is, a specific story, but, it said $2 billion were taken from people in the United States, civil asset forfeitures. And this civil asset forfeiture stuff is really nothing but highway robbery perpetrated by law enforcement officers across America at all levels and sanctioned by your government. And it's disgusting. It is outrageous. And there basically is nothing that any of us can do about it. And it's really, really frustrating to me. I hate it. One thing I've got to say is cryptocurrency. Well, I've gone from one location to another in different geopolitical zones. I've spent, and I've spent cryptocurrency on both sides of my trip, and the government can't do anything about it. Nothing. And that's one of the great things about Zencash. Zencash is it's technology that enables you to spend money wherever you want through an app on your phone, and it's private if you want it to. There's no single point of failure. They've got 11,000 secure nodes, and apparently there was what they call a 51% attack. That doesn't mean there were 51% of the nodes that were attacking, but
correct.
That's what it's called. What happened?
I'm just going by their statement online. The Zencash network was the target of a 51% attack on 2 June at approximately 10:43 p.m., so that was last night, Eastern Daylight Time. They executed a number of mitigation procedures, including receiving the warning from one of their pool operators, immediately initiating an investigation and evaluating the distribution of hash power. That's all the collective miners that are contributing to it. And while they were doing that, they contacted exchanges to increase the confirmation time. So where a typical crypto transaction has to be approved by other people in the system, say 6 times, and
other computers
automatically, right? They increased that to like 100, so they really slowed down. And basically, you have a couple bad actors attempting to wreak havoc with the system.
I think that's great. Frankly, that happened. The price didn't seem affected at all, so it shows that people are unconcerned. Investors are unconcerned in this. And to me, you got to take some arrows before you're a real crypto. And I think Zencash, got some maturity last night.
Right,
came through it real well. I'm impressed. And I will say this: I don't give much investment advice on this show, but I do manage some crypto, and I went in on Zencash recently. So in the last couple of days, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was the day before, maybe it was the day before that. I'm not entirely sure, but very recently. Just go out, find out more. Secure private transactions, Zencash.com, one of the most secure networks out there, Zencash.com. So this family had about $60,000 that they were trying to take to buy a vacation home, potentially, in Albania. You don't want to take... In some of these countries, you don't want to wire money to a bank and then take the money out of the bank, because then the teller's in cahoots with some criminal, tells them, hey, there's somebody with $60,000 walking out the bank door. They're wearing a red shirt. And, the criminal just waylays them and takes their money. That's a nice little gig.
Right.
And who could say that the teller's the bad guy? Who knows? Just a text message that's erased off a phone? Yeah, you can see why somebody might want to take their money with them in cash. And they followed all the rules by the looks of it. Customs and Border Patrol took their money. Just said, hey, I've got more than $10,000. I'm declaring that because that's your rule. Okay, well, we'll take that from you because we suspect that you've got it for bad reasons.
Right.
Well,
not to mention that this guy actually took the time to bundle, along with the money, receipts from all his bank withdrawals, receipts for the property, that he was going to purchase or pertaining to his family's property.
Yep.
I mean,
he's prepared.
Right. He tries to do the right thing.
He did do the right thing. Well, reporting it to the police is not the right thing by the looks of it.
Yeah.
According to a translated declaration that Kazazi provided to the court as part of the lawsuit, TSA employees discovered the cash in his bag during a routine security check.
Okay.
And alerted Customs and Border Protection.
Okay. So maybe he didn't report it, because that was the only way I could figure they could have found it. But what happened was TSA found the cash. So when would he have declared it anyway if it wasn't TSA? If it was after? I mean, he didn't even have an opportunity to declare it.
We may discover that.
Yeah.
They asked me some questions which I could not understand, as they spoke too quickly, according to Kazazi's declaration.
Right. So he's a U.S. citizen. He had to take the exam. That means he has to speak some level of English. But that doesn't mean that he can necessarily understand the English. Where'd he go out of? If he was in Boston, no wonder.
I asked them for an interpreter and asked to call my family, but they denied my request.
Well, they probably didn't have an Albanian interpreter on hand.
The CBP agents led Kazazi to a small windowless room and conducted multiple searches of him and his belongings, he said. According to Kazazi's declaration, the agents asked him to remove all of his clothing and gave him a blanket to cover the lower portion of his body.
I wouldn't know when to report money prior to, I wouldn't even know when to report it.
Don't you do that? Don't you fill out the form? Do they give you the form to fill out while you're on the plane?
That's what my experience is.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know when you would report this.
No, that to me that's your first opportunity to report anything, isn't it?
Kazazi said that a man wearing rubber gloves then started searching different areas of my body.
As though the money with the receipts on it isn't enough.
Kazazi characterized the search as a strip search in an interview translated by his son. I felt my rights violated, he said.
Yeah, they were.
The searches turned up nothing, no drugs, no contraband.
They're jiggling your jewels in blue gloves. They're violating your rights. I'm sorry.
No evidence of any illegal activity, according to the lawsuit. But the agents took Kazazi's money.
Of course they did.
Even more alarming to Kazazi was that the receipt the agents handed to him did not list the dollar value of his cash.
That's pretty alarming.
I began to worry that they were trying to steal the money for themselves, he said in his court declaration. After being released, Kazazi called his wife and explained what had happened. None of it made sense to either of them, but Leela Kazazi told her husband that it had to be some sort of misunderstanding and that he should continue on his trip and let her and Errol sort it out at home.
Oh, jeez.
7 months later, Customs still has the money.
Yeah. No, they're not just going to give it back. They want that $60,000.
Yep.
The Kazazis have been
That's
caught
real
up.
money, not government-printed money.
The Kazazis have been caught up in a broader struggle over civil asset forfeiture, a law enforcement practice that allows police to seize and permanently keep cash and other property on the suspicion of wrongdoing. Defenders of the practice, such as Attorney General Jeff Sessions...
It's always government agents that defend it.
...say it's a valuable tool for fighting drug cartels and other criminal enterprises in cases where a criminal conviction is difficult to obtain.
I love this. The same group of people that send soldiers to guard poppy fields in Afghanistan are talking about how they can use civil asset forfeiture to, counteract, drug gang activity.
Well, I mean, Mark, you're
the drug gang.
You're probably too young to remember when there were drug cartels before we squashed them all through the use of civil asset forfeiture.
Yeah.
Because that worked, right?
I think they run Mexico now.
Yeah.
The government can just take everything from you, said Wesley Hatat.
That's a pretty prescient statement. The government certainly can take. The government who can take any one thing from you, a government that can demand 1 penny from you in taxes, any organization that can demand one thing from you without a contract, without an agreement, that organization can take anything from you because that's an organization of violence.
Hatat is with the Institute for Justice, a civil liberties law firm working to overturn civil forfeiture. People wishing to challenge a civil forfeiture must essentially demonstrate their innocence in court, Hatat said, turning the dictum of innocent until proven guilty on its head. You have to affirmatively show you're not a criminal to get your own money back.
This guy's got receipts. You got to get a day in court, which is going to take years to do too.
You have to effectively prove a negative.
Right.
It's not possible. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. I know we're not going to get in defense of this because we never do. Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Good technology is good, but the philosophy behind the tech is important. And Zencash was made by voluntarists with the ideas of voluntary interaction being embedded into the white paper. With no central authority or single point of failure, Zencash is more resilient than a traditional corporation. Everyone has an equal opportunity to participate in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. And Zencash allows for secure private transactions. Learn more at Zencash.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-261-9818 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-261-9818. Again, 800-261-9818.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can call in, and we might be able to squeeze you in here in the final segment. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. We're talking about a story where this family, this guy, had $60,000 taken. He was going to get a vacation property in Albania, where he's from, and just a lot of confusion from the government side. I want to get this story finished up because there's some amazing facts in it. And remember, this could happen to anybody. Anybody traveling with cash is subject to having their money taken from them. It doesn't matter if you're in a car, on a bus, going through an airplane. We got stories for all of that here on Free Talk Live. Jonny Ray, real quick, finish this up if you would.
Federal authorities haul in billions in cash and property from forfeiture every year, a tally that doesn't include additional billions seized in state and local forfeiture actions.
Right. They're in on the action.
The Kazazi family didn't hear anything about their cash or why it was taken until more than a month after it was seized, when Customs finally sent a seizure notice to their home. This is to notify you that Homeland Security investigations seized the property described below at Cleveland, Ohio on October 24, 2017. $57,000, $57,330 in U.S. currency, the notice states.
Yep.
Enforcement activity indicates that the currency was involved in a smuggling / drug trafficking / money laundering operation.
What indicates that? What enforcement activity? Other than we found a bunch of money.
That's it.
That's the extent of their quote-unquote activity.
It's the end of it.
The first thing the Kazazis noticed was that the dollar amount listed was $770 less than the amount that Kazazi said he took with him.
Sounds like Customs and Border Patrol bought lunch for everybody on staff plus the TSA.
And you know how expensive things are in airports.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go.
The family said that the cash was all in $100 bills, making it impossible for it to add up to $57,330.
Sure, if you're going to transport that amount of money, you wouldn't do it in 20s.
Hot said
with a 10.
These types of errors are common in forfeiture cases, and that it's always in the same direction. Government receipts coming up a few hundred or a few $1,000s short of what defendants say they had. The Kazazis,
I'm sure that what other direction is it going to come up short? Or come up otherwise?
Oh, you know what? We dipped in there for the petty cash. We needed some staplers, but now I need to put back what I took out. So you know what? I'm just going to put in $35. I don't think I spent that much, but
hey,
anyway, that's a situation that's never
Can
happened.
you just hold this case for like 7 months until I get the money together to pay it back?
The Kazazis said they were also flabbergasted by the allegation of smuggling / drug trafficking / money laundering.
Yeah, imagine how this ex-cop feels about being called a drug dealer.
Right.
There was no indication of how the officers arrived at that conclusion.
Well, there is an indication. They've got money.
This was the most offensive thing I've ever seen, Harold Kazazi said. They provide no evidence. They list 3 different things without even saying which one it is. In a statement, a CBP spokesman...
Notice I laugh, and this is terrible.
Right.
In a statement, a CBP spokesman said that, pursuant to an administrative search of Mr. Kazazi and his bags, TSA agents discovered artfully concealed U.S. currency.
Yeah, it was wrapped in paper
and
so
labeled.
that people wouldn't see big bags of cash.
Oh, jeez.
Mr. Kazazi provided inconsistent statements regarding the currency, had no verifiable source of income, and possessed evidence of structuring activity.
So a guy who doesn't speak English real well gave inconsistent statements. What a surprise.
Structuring activity, that is, making cash withdrawals of less than $10,000 to avoid reporting requirements.
This is the thing that most likely, if they're going to get him on something, they're going to get him on this, because they make it difficult to make transactions, withdrawals of more than $10,000, right? And then they go after you for it if you try to avoid that in some way.
Hatat denies that Rustem Kazazi was trying to conceal the cash.
And I need Americans to understand that if you're going to buy a pickup truck from somebody off of Craigslist for $15,000 and you withdraw $7,000 one week, and then 3 or 4 days later you withdraw $8,000, and then you go take that $15,000 to buy that pickup truck, you're suspected at that point of committing the felony called structuring.
Right, which means...
I'd say you've committed it. If you did it for the purpose of avoiding that cash transaction report,
right,
then you did do it.
But the government is going to accuse you of smuggling / drug trafficking / money laundering.
All those things.
Yeah.
Hatat denies that Rustem Kazazi was trying to conceal the cash. He had it wrapped in paper, labeled it, and sent it through the scanner in his carry-on bag. The inconsistent statements were a result of Kazazi's poor English language comprehension, Hatat said. Hatat also noted that the structuring allegation was not included in the seizure notice. They've never mentioned structuring before, he said. I think what we're really seeing here is some creative Monday morning quarterbacking by CBP trying to justify the unjustified.
That's how the government does it. The FBI does it. They all do it. Is they'll get a warrant or whatever for something, and then they find something else, and then they'll go for that. Right. That's not how it's supposed to work in America. You're supposed to get a warrant specifically describing the things to be searched and the things to be searched for.
The CBP spokesman also noted that there are disclosure statements for traveling internationally with sums of cash greater than $10,000. Failure to declare monetary instruments in amounts more than $10,000 can result in fines or forfeiture and could result in civil and or criminal penalties, he said.
Yeah, so traveling internationally, but he wasn't traveling internationally. He was traveling from Cleveland to Newark, at which point he would then be traveling internationally, so he had not yet been given the opportunity to declare it.
Hatat said Kazazi was well aware of those requirements and planned to file his disclosure form during his 4-hour layover in Newark. The form instructs travelers to file the paperwork, quote, at the time of departure from the United States with the customs officer in charge at any customs port of entry or departure, end quote.
That's insane. I mean, and that makes sense, right? You're leaving the country. You're no longer in the United States. You're about to embark on a trip to another country. That's when you declare it.
Logically, yes.
You don't declare it in Cleveland when you're on your way to New Jersey. I boggles my mind.
If he's going to follow the law on this, he's going to have to do it in Newark on the way out of the country, Hatat said. The CBP seizure notice gave the Kazazis a number of options for proceeding with the case. They could abandon the cash completely.
Which is what they want them to do. They just want the $60,000. That's what thieves want.
Right.
Or they could make an offer in compromise, letting CBP keep a certain percentage of the seized cash if they return the rest.
For what?
What?
For what?
That is outrageous.
Jesus.
That is outrageous. These law enforcement officers expect me to believe that they're paladins of truth and justice when they're going to give back suspected criminals some portion of their money in order to keep the other portion? That's just you being in cahoots. I mean, my God, that's cartelism like I've never heard it before. Whoever made that offer ought to have their freaking hands cut off.
There were also options for challenging the seizure administratively through internal CBP channels or letting the case proceed in federal court. The Kazazis opted for federal court. Earl Kazazi said they were pursuing a court case because they don't trust the internal CBP process.
It sounds like the CBP is full of liars.
They were the ones that seized our money, he said. We wanted another party like the attorney's office to deal with this case. Based on my father's experience, it didn't seem like CBP really wanted to help us out.
Oh, they did want to help you out. They wanted to make sure he didn't have to carry that cash any further.
God. Under federal forfeiture law, the government was required to initiate the forfeiture case within 90 days after the Kazazis responded to the seizure notice. If they failed to initiate a forfeiture case within that window, they would be required to promptly return the money to the claimants. That deadline passed over a month ago on April 17th. CBP has not filed a forfeiture complaint, nor has it returned the money. Harold Kazazi said he has called CBP several times and was told that the case was now with the U.S. Attorney's Office in Ohio and that they had no additional information on it. So this week, the Kazazis filed their own lawsuit demanding the immediate return of their property.
Man, I mean, I would feel like these people have a real good chance at victory, but victory isn't the right word here.
Yeah.
Like a cut of losses is the best thing you could call this.
Right.
I mean, they've had. Can you imagine this is probably this is a great deal of their savings. $60,000 is a lot of money to have saved, and these people are going to get a vacation home, and all their plans have been jammed up over nonsense.
Well, forget all that. Now you're going to federal court, so you have filing fees, you have attorney's costs, you have all that stuff that's going on.
Well, I hope Customs and Border Patrol, I hope the United States government
should be liable.
Yeah, should be have to pay them back
every
for all
penny.
That. But they won't.
Harold Kazazi said the ordeal has affected his father's health and turned their lives upside down. But he said his father's high opinion of the United States hasn't changed.
Yeah.
He's not going to let the actions of some employees that made a mistake in their duties change his opinion of the country.
Ain't no patriot like a new patriot, man.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, corruption's all over, even in the United States. Mr. Albania, all the best to you.
Give him 10 more years.
I really hope the best to you. Free Talk Live. Check us out, freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated. So send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you